Welcome to the Life Leadership Podcast with myself, Leila Singh, all things coaching, career and personal branding. This podcast is for ambitious career professionals like you, wanting to create a life of choice and freedom, to be, do and have more through overcoming limitations, to develop new perspectives and insights, and to redefine your success, be that in work, health, relationships, and so much more. Hi there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Live with Leila. My name is Leila Singh, and I'm a leadership, career, and personal brand coach. My mission is to impact 100,000 people's career trajectory beyond what they thought possible. Why? Because I'm passionate about helping you to realize what is truly possible for you in your career and in your life. And how do I do this? Through helping you to harness your leadership potential. I coach high-achieving, ambitious, driven, mid to senior level career professionals working in the technology industry for promotion, for peak performance, and a standout personal brand, all whilst showing up as the best version of yourself. This is what I call life leadership. So today's topic, let's kick off. I have a lot to cover. Have your pen and paper to hand to make some notes, so you can go away and work through what I'm going to share with you today, because I think this will be really beneficial for you if you've gotten to where we're at today, the 2nd of July, and you're thinking, oh my God, where has the year gone? What have I done? What have I actually achieved? Have I just been spinning plates, been on that hamster wheel or the treadmill and not really gotten myself to where I would have hoped to have been this time in the year, so halfway through the year? And that's why today's topic is called Hop Off the Hamster Wheel and Let's Get Intentional. The question to ask, or many people are asking, including myself, is where has the time gone? I cannot believe, for one, that it is already July. It is honestly, each year it just flies by faster and faster. And the question I have for you today is, have you actually achieved what you set out to do since January? Be that in your work, your career, perhaps with your health, in your relationships, with your finance and financial security, or any other area of your life. Let me know in the comments, like, are you where you had hoped to be, where you set out to be, or are you looking now and thinking, actually, I've not even made any inroads to that goal that I had set myself at the start of the year? So do you feel perhaps that you have continued from last year to just stay on that hamster wheel of life, spinning lots of plates at the same time and not perhaps having any clear direction or focus, particularly when it comes to your career? And by the way, this live can apply to career specifically and or other areas of your life too, because I'm going to share with you an approach that you can take to move yourself forward, to have your best year yet, to complete the next 6 months, the remainder of this year, and really feel like you're accomplished, you're fulfilled, you're happy, you've made progress in those areas that are important to you. So thinking about like where you're at right now, is it that you had set yourself goals, but other things happened? You know, life happens, things come up that we don't plan for, we don't expect. And then what happens is we have to park certain things and reprioritize. And maybe it's that your well-intentioned vision, your goal setting that you spent time doing at the end of last year has fallen by the wayside. Is that you? Let me know in the comments if you are struggling right now. Do you feel that perhaps H1, first half of the year, was a complete write-off? If that is you, if you're struggling right now, feeling like, oh my God, we're in July and I'm still spinning those plates, I'm still on that hamster wheel or the treadmill, and it's going to be Christmas soon and I won't be able to account for this year and what I've actually done to move myself forward in those areas of my life that are really important, then today's live is for you. Okay, as I said, grab pen and paper, because you're going to be making notes of some questions, some steps, approaches that you can take on the back of this session today to really get focused and intentional for the next 6 months. So there's three core things that I want to invite you to do here, right? Number one is to slow down. Slow down and create space. And I know it's easy to say and so much harder to do, because I'm there with you on this. I'm great. I'm one of those who's really good at just doing loads of stuff and actually not taking the time to slow down and to reflect and to learn from what's happened over the last year, or 6 months in this case. And what's interesting, by the way, if you're thinking, well, what are my wins? What have I achieved? Because I'm going to invite you to look at yours. Please do refer to my LinkedIn newsletter. I'll pop the link in the comments shortly. So last week's newsletter, they come out every Friday. And every month, what I'm now doing is I'm sharing a little bit more personally about my wins, my challenges, and what's been occurring, what my learnings have been over the course of the last month. And for me, it forces me then to slow down. What I'm inviting you to do today, to slow down and to create that space. Why? Because, there's a saying that you need to slow down to speed up. And it might sound counterintuitive, but there's a lot to be said for this, because when we slow down, when we create that space, that's when we almost get that, we get the ideas, we get to reflect and just recognize how far we have come. And that's a really important starting point, because there is no point just beating ourselves up and saying, oh, but I haven't done this, or I didn't start this, or I didn't get to do that, or nothing's changed in a particular area of my life. This is not about beating yourself up. This is about taking back that control and that influence over your life, your outcomes, and what you want to accomplish. So slowing down to speed up, the first thing I invite you to do today is to slow down and create some space. Now, whether that's an evening, whether that's over the weekend, or a course of the next few weeks, putting some time aside, even if it's only 15-20 minutes before you get into bed, to just work through some of what I'm going to share with you today, so that you can set yourself up for the next 6 months, the remainder of this year. Take the time. The second thing to do here, in that space that you create when you slow down, is to reflect on the first 6 months of this year. And here are some questions to ask yourself. Very, very simple. What went well? So think about your wins, your successes, where you feel like you've made progress in things. Perhaps there's things that weren't even on your radar that came from left field, but they were really good. So what went well? What were your wins, your successes, your accomplishments, however big or small? So as an example, one of my priorities this year is my health. And for me, I'd say a big win for the first half of the year is actually being really consistent in terms of my nutrition and my workouts and my walking and everything else that I'm doing. The one thing that I haven't nailed is my sleep patterns, which are absolutely atrocious. So I'm not here to now beat myself up about it. It's like, okay, what am I going to do differently going forward? What can I do to improve my energy levels and my focus and so forth? All the benefits that come from good sleep and enough sleep, such that I can really achieve my overall optimal health goal by the end of the year. So as I said, and I'm going to reinforce this is not about beating yourself up or being self-critical. This is about understanding and learning. And then the next question, so after you look at what went well, the second question to ask yourself is, what could have been better? So in my case, my example is my sleep. I know that when it comes to my sleeping patterns, I lack a lot of discipline. I stay up late. I'm a night owl, tend to stay up doing like work or whatever. And then I'm tired, or I don't have the energy, or I lack the focus. And for me, that's a really important thing that I want to change. So I'm here being vulnerable, being open with you, and sharing an example of what that could look like. This is not about me then going into beating myself up mode, which, by the way, I have done in the past, but I've learned that it doesn't actually serve me to do that. It's about learning from what didn't go well. So the third question to ask here is, what will I do differently going forward? Okay, so just to reiterate those questions then, reflecting on the last 6 months, or the first 6 months of this year, what went well, what could have been better, and what will I do differently going forward? Because remember, people often beat themselves up and say that they failed, or if they haven't done or started something or gotten to where they want to be, so, oh, well, I failed. Well, actually, there is no such thing as failure unless you keep doing the same thing over and over again and nothing changes. So what I invite you to do is, if something hasn't worked for you or you haven't made the progress you want, is what can you learn from that? Are you setting yourself an unachievable goal right now? Is it that you haven't got the time that you need to afford to that particular goal or vision or intention, which means that you just don't get started, or you're kind of slower than you had planned with the progress you were making? So think about being realistic with your goals, obviously creating a bit of a stretch goal in there so it just challenges you, it pushes you a little bit, but learning from what hasn't worked before. What can I do differently going forward? That is the big thing to take away here when it comes to your reflections. So that's the second part. So number one, slow down and create space. Number two is to reflect on the first half of this year. Look at what went well, acknowledge your accomplishments, celebrate them if you haven't already done so, and then think about what could have been better and what your learnings are. Okay, and now the big part of this is setting your intentions for the remainder of the year. In fact, it may be hard to believe because the first half of the year has gone by so quickly, but actually you can accomplish a lot in the remaining 6 months. And this will be even easier if you take that time to slow down, to create space, to stop, and to get present with being present in the moment and looking at your situation objectively and envisioning what you would like to complete by the end of the year. Where would you like to be in the different areas of your life, the ones that are really important to you, the ones that are your priorities? So what I'd like you to do right now is to identify one area of your life that is a real priority for you to create change. So let's say we go with career. So this could be, it could be your career, it could be your health, it could be a relationship, it could be financial security, maybe it's learning and personal development, doing a new accreditation, qualification, certification. It could be anything, but what is it that's important to you? So pick one thing to start with, because this process can be replicated. So if you work it through now with one thing, and then you can go away and take this process and apply it to other areas of your life that are important for you. So let's run with an example of career right now. So first question to ask yourself is, why is this a priority for me? And you might want to write these questions down because you can come back to them and use them again, time and time again, and for different areas of your life, for different priorities. So why is this a priority for me? Think about it. Maybe if it's your career we're talking about, perhaps it's a simple case of you've been in the job now, or the same job, let's say, for a period of time, and you feel like you're no longer being challenged and you want to move up, you want to take on more responsibility, you want to maybe step into a leadership role to increase your income and so forth. So why is it a priority for you? Number one. Number two, how important is it for me to create that change in this area of my life? And what I invite you to do here is to keep writing, like, why is it a priority, but also how important is it for me? So when you approach these questions, this isn't about just coming up with the first thing in your mind and writing it down and moving on. It's like, keep asking the question and see what comes up, because the deeper you go, the more insightful it will be for you, and also more motivating in terms of having you take the action. So how important is it for you to create change in this particular area of your life? What would the impact be of creating that change? And what are the other reasons for wanting change? So again, keep writing until you run out of reasons. The next question is important, and this is, who do you need to become to achieve your goal? And the reason I say this is because it's very easy to simply focus on the goals and the to-dos. And often if we're coming or approaching them from a place of not being, let's say, if we're talking about career, if we're coming to a place when we're, let's say, lacking confidence, we've become really skeptical of the workplace, of maybe getting a promotion, we're lacking that belief in ourselves, all those kinds of unresourceful states, if you're coming from that place and yet wanting to step up in your career, you are really, really going to struggle significantly more than someone who's coming from a resourceful place. So rather than focusing on the goal, start to think about, who do I need to become to achieve that goal? So using the career example, if a career is something that you want to create change, now whether that is simply moving sideways, getting a promotion, moving up a level, taking on more responsibility, moving to a new organization, whatever that looks like for you, consider this for yourself. Who do you need to become to achieve that goal? Now, to give you an example, if you're looking to get promoted, to take on more responsibility, to step into a leadership or executive role, who do you need to become? You want to become somebody who is perceived as a leader, so someone who's got confidence, certainty with themselves, belief in yourself and what you have to say, having a voice, having a point of view, having the ability to share your points of view, your ideas, speaking up, being able to articulate what you want to say well, having the ability to communicate at all levels and being able to both inspire the people who maybe report to you, as well as have those who are senior to you want to hear what you have to say, who value your opinions and your ideas. So what does that mean for you? What do you need to adjust, to learn, or to develop in order that you can show up as that leader, that perceived leader for others? How can you show up as a leader for yourself in the first instance? So being able to influence your life, your outcomes, the way that you show up in the world, such that other people see you as that leader. And then it becomes a no-brainer when it comes to having those conversations about that promotion or that job you've applied for in the other company, or having people refer and recommend you. So think about the traits, the attributes of someone who's doing what it is you want to do, that you admire. And this is the same for any other area of your life. Who do I need to become? So if it's a relationship thing, who do I need to become in my relationships so I can be an even better partner or parent or sibling or daughter or son to my parents? Like, what is it that you want to achieve there? And it starts rather from you. It comes from within. And this is why this piece is really, really important. And if you want to look at this more, I'd recommend checking out Atomic Habits, the book, where James Clear goes into more depth around this and your identity, really looking at your identity rather than simply just setting goals and trying to achieve those goals from the place that you're in right now in terms of who you are being. So creating that shift, because this will, when you look at like shifting your identity to who you are being and becoming the person that you want to be to step into that, let's say, the leadership role, things will become so much easier and you'll propel yourself forward even faster. An example I'll share with you on that is in when it comes to my health and my health goals, and something I recognized last year when I was talking to one of my coaches, and he asked me, what's the reason, like, why is this important to you? So one of these questions, why is it important to you to do this? And I said, because when I are fitter and healthier, I have more energy and so forth, so I just feel more confident. And the question that he asked me was, well, what if you approached your health from a place of confidence? Because confidence comes a lot from the thinking, thoughts up here, and what we're telling ourselves. And actually, by just simply creating that shift and saying, well, I'm already confident, let me step into that confidence. What's going to change? Well, guess what? That was a huge shift for me in terms of becoming more consistent and committed to the process for improving my health, which is the thing I had been struggling with prior to that, was the consistency. But when I stepped into, actually, you know what, I am already confident in myself and who I am and who I'm being, and approaching my health game from that place of confidence, it was a huge shift for me. It just made everything so much easier. And this is an example of checking in with who you're being. If you're forcing to, oh, I really need to go to the gym and I really don't want to, but I'm going to do it, and then you don't go and all of that, or you want to eat healthy but you're struggling to, and there's like no real motivation to do it, think about someone who's like nailing it when it comes to their health, for example, and who are they being? What are their attributes and their traits, and how can you adopt those into your world such that making these decisions and having that discipline to stick to the things that you know will work for you and doing what you say you're going to do will get you to where you want to be. Okay, so who do I need to become to achieve my goal? The next question is, what can I do differently from what I have been doing? So remember, go back to your reflections of the last half year and look at what didn't work, why it didn't work. Were you overcommitting? Were you not creating the space? Were you watching TV or scrolling social media when you could have been going out for a walk, let's say, or reading a book, or whatever it is that's going to move you forward in that particular area of your life that you're focused on? So what is your learning? What can you do differently from now and starting today? Every day is day one. I've talked about this before. It's something I learned on a fitness challenge I was on a few years ago. This is not about beating yourself up. It's about, if for example, one day you don't do your exercise or you eat cake, it doesn't mean you're going to write off the rest of the week if it was a Monday, let's say. What it means is that's okay. I did this yesterday, or I didn't do this. But you know what? Today's day one. I'm going to start again and treat every day as day one. What support can I call upon to keep me focused and accountable? Accountability is often underrated. It's remarkable what people who are really invested in their personal development, their growth, and wanting to be the best of the best in a particular area of their life will invest in accountability, whether it's paying for coaches, having the mentor, whatever it takes to have that level of accountability. Having somebody, not just somebody in your family who's in the house, who's probably not going to really hold you accountable as much as someone who is a little bit more removed from you in your day-to-day space. Look for someone who you can be accountable with, or to, shall I say, who can help you to keep focused and accountable. Now, it could be a personal trainer if it's your health. It could be a career coach. It could be a leadership mentor, somebody that you aspire to be like, who works in your organization. So think about who you can have in your space as your supporters, people who have got your back, whose opinion and you trust and you value. They've got your back. They want to see you win. Who can you have in your space? Who can you bring in to help you to get there? And this is why people look for mentors or hire coaches and consultants to help them to move forward in their lives, or whether it's personal trainers and so forth, because it'll help you to stay on track. People who are outside of that immediate, let's say, family space will be more objective. They will call you out on your BS. They will want to see you win. They won't they won't just accept excuses. And that's what will help you to move forward. If you look at all the people, whether in sports, in entertainment, in their career, who are super successful, they have all got supporters, advocates, accountability, mentors, coaches, whatever, around them to help them to move forward, to help them to see their blind spots. Because we all have blind spots, and that's a whole other conversation for another life, but we all have those blind spots. And having someone in your space who has got your back but will call you out on BS and help you to see what you don't see is what will really help to propel your performance and your results and get you to where you want to be even quicker. So think about accountability and having the right people around you to help you to achieve those goals. And next question to ask yourself, well, what will happen if I haven't, or not if I haven't achieved, but if nothing has changed by the end of December? So if I'm where I am right now when it comes to December, what will happen? And then how will I feel if I'm able to complete the year in the way that I had envisioned? So those are the questions to write down, to go back and reflect on, and be honest in your answers with them, because this will help you to recognize how important these things are for you, which means it will show you how committed you can be to achieving them. Because if it's like, well, if I get to December and nothing's changed, it's okay, I don't mind, it's just another year, and just continue, that's okay too. This isn't about making you right or wrong. This is simply about helping to recognize what's really important for you. And when you get clear on that, it's like that's when it's going to become so much easier to take action and to move yourself forward. Okay, so I'm just going to fly through the next few questions with you. And just to kind of look at, okay, what is it you want to achieve by the end of the year? It might be in your health. You want to be fitter, you want to be healthier, have more energy, lose weight, whatever that might be. Perhaps it's greater connection in your relationship. Perhaps it's, maybe it's a step forward in your career, improving your financial security, developing your self-awareness through personal development and coaching, having a better life balance, spending more time with your loved ones. So whatever it is for you that you're really craving out to want to change, look at what that is and look at, okay, go through those questions and determine what it is you can do. So the next thing now is, number one, set your intentions. So once you've picked that one area, let's say career, set your intentions for that. Create your milestones. Now, there can be monthly to start with and monthly milestones over the next 6 months, and then look at, okay, what are my weekly goals? What are the things I need to complete each week? Realistically, of course, to enable me to move forward baby step by baby step. Then identify your top 3 priorities for your daily commitments and habits and routines that you want to start to incorporate into your day to make things happen and to make things easier. So for example, in my case with health, it's going to bed earlier, getting into bed by 11 o'clock. That's my goal at the moment. I want to bring that forward to 10:30, but again, baby steps. When I'm going to bed at 12, 1 o'clock, I'm not going to go from that to 10. So at the moment for me, I'm aiming to get into bed for 11. So that's my baby step. That's my new routine that I'm setting for myself. So what is it for you when it comes to, in the example with you, we're using is your career. What are the habits, the routines? Maybe it's about developing, learning more in your industry. So that's what you want to be doing, starting to read up more, subscribe to newsletters about your industry, go to more networking events, speaking to more people, that kind of thing. So get clear on that. So every day what happens is you're making a little bit of progress no matter what. So however small, you're moving forward towards your vision for change and what it is you want to create in your life. The next thing is reflection. Remember, I said how important this is to reflect weekly on your progress. So look at your wins, again, however small, the successes, accomplishments, and also tweak what's not working well. So let's say I use health as it's an easy example. You committed to going for a walk every day for an hour, but you're not doing it because you're not having the time. Okay, what can you do instead? Maybe commit to 30 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day. And the more you do that, you'll start to really feel the benefits and you'll likely just naturally increase that. You'll maybe get up a little bit earlier and so forth. So again, it's baby steps, but looking at your learnings for what's not working so you can tweak things accordingly. The next thing is reach out and engage the support that you need. You do not have to do this on your own. Make it easier. Have people around you, whether it's in a community, as I said, a coach, a mentor, and so forth. So this is a process that I'm following for my health, my business, and my relationship, and it's creating the changes that I want to experience so that I can end the year feeling like I've accomplished, I've moved forward, I'm happier, I'm even more fulfilled, I'm achieving success in the areas that are important for me. And it's the same for you, and that's what I want for you. So please, if you haven't already done so, go back, listen to this again, take the notes down, write down those questions, the reflection questions, the questions for the next 6 months. And then, as I said, the 3 steps: set your intentions, create your milestones, your daily, weekly, and monthly ones, reflect weekly on your progress and learnings, and engage the support that you need. I'm going to leave you with this question. What is the one area of your life that you are choosing to improve upon from today during this last half of the year to make the end of this year your best year yet? Thank you so much for joining today. Until next time, remember to harness your potential, elevate your performance, and strive towards your growth, whether that's taking that risk, joining, doing something new, pursuing it, perhaps that next role, that next promotion, whatever it is for you. Keep looking to grow and develop and to move forward by showing up as the best version of you. So have a great rest of the week. Take care. Any questions on what I've shared today, do pop them in the comments or DM me if you'd rather. And I look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already done so. And if you enjoyed and gained value from today's episode, then do please leave a review telling us your key learnings and what you enjoyed the most. And do please share this podcast with your friends and colleagues so we can spread the word on life leadership, creating a life of choice, freedom, and new possibilities. Connect with me directly on LinkedIn, and if you would like to learn more about how we can work together, either DM me on LinkedIn or email me. All details and resources can be found in the show notes.